The entire Fever payroll is $1.2 million.
Less.
That is less than the minimum salary for a single NBA player with a year's experience.
Let me just put it into context a little bit because it does seem terribly unfair, right? The salary amount.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, the breakout college basketball star and top draft pick, had a deal with the Indiana Fever for a whopping $76,000.
Why Caitlin Clark's WNBA salary is sparking major debate.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Excitement hitting a fever pitch as basketball superstar Caitlin Clark officially launches her WNBA career.
I've dreamed of this moment since I was in second grade, and it's taken a lot of hard work, a lot of ups and downs, but more than anything, just trying to soak it in.
But here's the kicker. The Fever's entire payroll is just $1.2 million, which is actually less than what a single NBA player with a year of experience would make.
Caitlin Clark, we got to start with her. No question, goes #1 last night. But for her rookie season, she's only making $76,000. I say only, but that's just in comparison to other NBA players and WNBA players. What does that say about the pay gap in women's sports?
Stephanie, it says that the nation is now going to wake up to the inequality in terms of pay, and it will change. The media rights deal for the WNBA is up. There will be negotiations, and Caitlin Clark will change that as well.
In a recent WNBA playoff game, Caitlin Clark experienced an eye poke from Dejonai Carrington, which sparked a lot of discussion. This reminds me of an event that changed my life. In 2016, I was driving to a reunion with friends when a distracted driver ran a red light and crashed into me. My car was total, and I ended up needing multiple knee surgeries. Insurance companies often try to pay you less than what you deserve after an accident, which is why I'm excited to introduce our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the country and can fight for the best possible result for your case if you become their client. Whether it's a minor accident or something more serious, they make sure the insurance company doesn't shortchange you. The best part? You don't pay them up front. If they don't win, you don't pay. If you ever find yourself in an accident, remember your options. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in description below. Thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. It raises a big question. When will female athletes start getting paid what they deserve? The WNBA has a strong following with plenty of fans and viewers, so it's puzzling why the salaries are so low.
But really, this is all about capitalism. I mean, for a generation, people have ignored the WNBA. They haven't bought tickets, they haven't watched, they haven't bought the products they're seeing on the commercials. And everything changes. I think the eyeballs on this number, $76,000. Now, again, she's making much more than that. Her endorsements are into the millions. There's also a chance of having $250,000 contract or addition for marketing the WNBA. I'm sure she'll get that as well.
ESPN, which is part of the Disney family, has taken steps to promote women's sports, but it seems they could have done more. With a new broadcasting deal on the horizon, there's an opportunity to boost salaries across the league. To put things in perspective, the current collective bargaining agreement, signed in 2020, did increase player salaries by 53%. However, that just highlights how far behind they were. Players used to endure cramped travel arrangements, sharing hotel rooms, and riding in uncomfortable buses. While improvements have been made, the pay gap remains significant.
So she's going to be a multimillionaire, but it's shining a light on something that we should be looking at. Title IX is, of course, applying to high schools and colleges. This is about capitalism. This is about Americans spending their money in a certain way. And that's going to change because of the eyeballs, because of the TV ratings. Caitlin Clark will be, the Caitlin Clark effect, Stephanie, will be impacting that as well. And it's about time because these women obviously have been underpaid now for several decades.
The NBA has been around for over 50 years and generates billions, while the WNBA brings in millions.
Now, in context, though, they also got better travel arrangements because they were actually putting these very tall women in coach. They were sharing hotel rooms.
Yeah.
They were riding terrible buses. So we came a long way from where we were. But the bottom line is, you know, the NBA has been in existence for 50 more years than the WNBA.
Yet only 10% of WNBA revenues go to player salaries, compared to 40% in the NBA. This disparity isn't just about revenue, it's a poor deal for the players.
Now to the reaction when some fans learned how much professional women's basketball players earn as a base salary compared to the men.
Yeah, Rebecca, it absolutely could. The ratings for Monday's draft rivaled 2003's. That is when LeBron was chosen by the Cavs. And look, before possible endorsements, the base salary for every WNBA rookie is just a fraction of 1% of the highest paid NBA rookie. But if millions of fans glued to the women's college basketball this year follow those players to the WNBA, there could be a whole different ballgame here.
Caitlin Clark's jersey sales broke records, selling more in 1 hour post-draft than any other player in any sport. This shows there's a market for women's basketball, and if the league invests in its players and marketing, it could see a significant return.
According to SpotRack, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, Camila Cardozo, Rickea Jackson are all tied for the highest female rookie salaries, estimated to make $76,535 this year. This is slightly less than the average mean wage in America last year.
Are they doing DoorDash on the side to survive? I mean, I know you ain't buying a house on that salary.
Incoming WNBA players like Clark and Angel Reese already cashing in other ways, piggybacking off their NIL deals with endorsements and partnerships that far exceed the WNBA salaries. But most current WNBA players need to supplement their income by playing overseas.
Critics often cite economics as a reason for the low salaries, but history has shown that with proper investment, like in women's soccer, the returns can be substantial. ESPN has a role to play here, as they could have negotiated better deals for the WNBA when they took on broadcasting rights.
Now, there's a lot of questions about Caitlin Clark's salary, you know, $338,000 for a 4-year contract. I find that to be a very, very low number. What say you?
It is low, but it's built in. It's based on the past, not the future. So she'll hopefully change that structure, but that's probably what the WNBA draft picks deserve. I will say this, Stuart. I love Caitlin Clark. She's going to make hundreds of millions of dollars in endorsements. So let's not, I mean, yeah, her salary for the team is low, but she's got what? Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, you name it. She's going to be one of these premier, whether it's Tiger Woods and men, Serena Williams women. She's going to make plenty of money.
But let's not forget the situation with Brittany Griner, who was detained in Russia because a team there paid her $1 million a year, while her WNBA contract was only $150,000. It's a stark reminder of the financial challenges female athletes face.
So the women have the headlines, they have the fans, they have the viewers. When the hell are they going to get paid? I don't understand why, because ESPN, who we work for, also part of the Disney thing, you know, they came in and swooped in and said, oh, okay, we're going to start to do this.
Let me just put it into context a little bit, because it does seem terribly unfair, right? The salary amount. I'm on the WNBA Board of Advocates.
Yeah, I know.
And so we were working on this collective bargaining agreement. By the way, the new collective bargaining agreement that was signed in 2020 gave the players a 53% increase in salary.
So that's how
bad it was.
Let's dive into the buzz surrounding Team USA and NBA star Draymond Green, especially his thoughts on Caitlin Clark. This isn't the first time he's weighed in on her situation. Previously, he pointed out that the Indiana Fever could really use someone tough to back up Clark, especially after witnessing players taking cheap shots at her during the early part of the WNBA season. In those initial matchups, it was evident that some players were trying to intimidate Clark physically. A notable incident involved Kennedy Carter, who not only insulted Clark, but also delivered a forearm hit that many dismissed as just part of the game.
I think at the end of the day, I'm a competitor. Now that it's another day, I've had an off day, now I can answer your questions and I can let you know how I really feel about things. But I'm a competitor, and I'm going to compete no matter who you are and no matter who's in front of me. So that's just what it was. Heat of the moment play, we're getting at it, we're going back and forth. It's basketball, it's all hoops. After we finish the game, it's all love.
You're going to take on the villain role, great, love it. You're going to be that enforcer on your team, great, love it. Can't dodge the questions. You go to the press conference, you answer the question. No, ain't no Caitlin Clark. No. You did what you did. Stand on it. I go to the podium. I'm not going to not answer a question about Rudy Gobert or whoever else. Stand on it.
Green, however, disagrees, recalling that even during the more physical eras of teams like the New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers, such actions would have been considered unsportsmanlike.
Thing happened with Yusef Nurkic. I'm going to answer the question. You got to stand on it. Regardless of what your answer going to be, you cannot hide from the question. Stand on what you did. You can't then run to Twitter like, and I said, like, no. They had a chance to ask you a question, and you hid. Stand on what you say. Stand on what you do. That's my only gripe with what she did.
He firmly believes that this kind of behavior should not become the norm in basketball.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
While Green appreciates the gritty style of basketball from the past, he makes it clear that he doesn't want to see unsportsmanlike conduct on the court. Recently, he reiterated that the Indiana Fever could use an enforcer to protect Clark. He also raised an important question. Why was Caitlin Clark overlooked for Team USA? This omission is seen as a significant error. Green's comments highlight a growing concern about player safety and the treatment of emerging stars in women's basketball. As the WNBA continues to evolve, the need for strong support around players like Clark becomes increasingly vital. A lot of us feel it was a big blunder not to include Caitlin Clark on this team, and Draymond Green just said it on his podcast. What's going on here? The men's basketball team just had a huge game against Serbia, pulling in 11 million viewers, with 13.5 million tuning in for the second half alone. Clearly, people are excited to watch the men's matches, but the same can't be said for the women's games, and it feels like they're trying to keep that under wraps. So don't tell me that marketing and branding don't matter. If Caitlin Clark had been on this team, we'd be seeing those ratings released, and I bet we'd be talking about viewership numbers in the millions. Both Draymond Green and Baron Davis are on the same page, insisting that Caitlin Clark should have made the USA team. They believe it would be a win for the brand because it really is important. Just think about the impact the 1992 Dream Team had on basketball's popularity. The WNBA is still in its early stages, much like the NBA back then, and it's all about growing the sport globally. Caitlin is the biggest star in women's basketball right now. Sure, we have amazing players like Aja Wilson, who I think will go down as the greatest of all time, but from a branding perspective, Caitlin is the standout, not including her is a missed chance. The same goes for Angel Reese. Their contributions to women's basketball are significant. The way they've performed this season shows they're destined for greatness. It's a smart move to invest in them now because they're on track to be among the best. Caitlin Clark is absolutely crushing it this season, leading the league in assists at an incredible rate, while Angel Reese is making headlines by breaking the all-time record for double-doubles. Both of them are proving they're destined for greatness, and it's a smart bet to back them now. Caitlin isn't just in the running for Rookie of the Year. She's entering the conversation for top 3 MVP votes, which is a huge deal. On the flip side, we've got Diana Taurasi and Chelsea Gray struggling to perform, which is surprising given their past successes. I remember the excitement surrounding the 1992 Dream Team. I was just 16 and glued to the screen watching legends like Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson. This time around, fans are missing out on that kind of cultural impact. Basketball as a whole really needs some wins. Even the NBA's ratings have dipped compared to 10 or 15 years ago. Having Caitlin Clark on Team USA would have been a game changer. I keep hearing people say they'll still win gold, but that's not the point. Why not have both? They had a golden opportunity to boost marketing, branding, and overall excitement around the sport, and they let it slip away. Caitlin Clark's performance this season has been nothing short of remarkable, showcasing why she should have been included on the Team USA roster. Her stats speak volumes. She's leading the league in assists and has had a historic rookie year. In fact, she's not just a contender for Rookie of the Year, she's making a case for top 3 MVP consideration. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is dominating with double-doubles, breaking records along the way. Both players are clearly on track to become legends in the sport. It's baffling that decision makers like Dawn Staley, Jen Rosati, and Cheryl Reeve overlooked Clark. Their focus seems to be more on activist causes rather than running a successful business, which is why the WNBA has struggled to turn a profit. If I were in charge, I would have insisted on putting Caitlin on the team. It should have been a straightforward decision, and I can't help but think that if NBC were involved, they would have demanded an explanation for her exclusion. The situation is alarming. We've seen some of the lowest attendance numbers for women's games recently, and now it feels like the ratings are being hidden. Draymond Green nailed it when he said it was a huge miss. This should have been an easy choice, especially with Caitlin's star power. People keep saying they'll still win gold, but that misses the point. Why not capitalize on the opportunity to enhance marketing and branding while also securing victories? The chance to include Caitlin Clark was a slam dunk, and passing it up is a significant oversight for the future of women's basketball.